Hey, it's Kim Thompson, and we are back with another Q&A day. And today's question comes from Shari in North Carolina. And Shari is asking about clarity. And the question is, I really want to start my business. I am just feeling a little bit frustrated and overwhelmed because I just can't seem to put into words exactly what I want to do. And I just don't know where to begin. Shari, I completely understand that frustration. I will tell you, when I first started out, I was in the same boat. I had just this burning sensation in the pit of my stomach that I really wanted to start my own business. And I just struggled so much with trying to get clear on what it was exactly that I wanted to do. And I will tell you that, as hard as it may be to kind of hear this, it's because really on some level, your confidence might be waning a little bit. And that's because clarity and confidence are really two sides of the same coin. And it doesn't mean that you're not a confident person. It's highly unlikely that you would even be here watching this if you didn't have a desire to step out and start your own business. So obviously you have the confidence to do that. But oftentimes we start to trip ourselves up because we start to second guess our abilities, and a little bit of that self-doubt starts to come into play. And I remember years ago when I was starting out, I was sitting with a clarity coach, and I was explaining all of this to her and saying, I know that I so deeply want to do this, but I just can't seem to get a clear vision around it. I can't seem to wrap my head around it and even be able to explain it. And she looked right at me and she said, "Oh, honey, you know exactly what you want to do. It's right there. You just have to verbalize it." Well, let me tell you, that was certainly not the answer that I wanted. I was thinking, is that all you got? And at that moment, I was thinking, come on, I'm completely clear. All I want is my money back right now, right? But I was just so frustrated after that. And I had to take a step back and really start to think about that. And as I did so, I realized that yes, she was correct. I did know on some level what it was that I wanted to do, but I was having a hard time uncovering that and verbalizing it. And that's where we get tripped up. The reason why we have a hard time really kind of pinpointing what it is because we let that self-doubt creep up and get in the way. And a lot of times it's called imposter syndrome. Sometimes it can be fear of success or fear of failure. And that just means that even though we may have the knowledge, the experience, and the ability, we just have a hard time kind of believing either in our own value or believing that somebody will take us seriously, or that what we have done in the past, all of our accomplishments, have actually been legitimately obtained by us. And so it kind of is the thing that stands in the way between where we want to go and what we're doing. I know at that time I felt like I just had this ginormous boulder standing in front of me and I needed to remove it. Here's the thing. Your subconscious absolutely knows on some level what it is that you want to do. It always knows. It has the answers to everything. But what happens is we, with our conscious mind, of course, start to put up all those different blocks. And it could be because of these old beliefs that we're holding on to. And it doesn't really matter where those beliefs came from. The thing that you need to first do is understand, do I have a belief that could be standing in the way? Somewhere where I might be doubting my abilities. That's the first step, is becoming aware of that. And then you simply want to ask yourself, okay, is this belief actually serving me anymore? And so it's understanding, do you have some kind of belief that is holding you back? And B, asking if it's serving you. And you don't want to say, oh my gosh, that's an awful belief and such, because those beliefs were there for a reason. They served a purpose at some point in your life. But maybe it's no good anymore. Maybe it's not serving a purpose anymore. So you want to get past that. The next thing that you want to do is, this is a time to really start getting in touch with yourself at a soul level. You really want to have those conversations with yourself. And this is where you're going to start asking yourself questions like, what did I want to be when I grew up? What did I always used to tell people I wanted to be? what are the things that I tend to gravitate most towards? What are the things that I really get excited about? If I'm to go to a seminar or a workshop, what's kind of subject would it be about? What's the topic? What are the topics that I'm interested in? And of course, those classic question of all time is, if money were no object, what would I be doing? So ask yourself those questions and start to write those down. The other thing that you really want to do is start to use tools like visualization and vision boards. Why? Because they actually start to evoke emotions, and emotions are the language of the subconscious. So the way for you to actually start opening that door and now creating kind of that bridge between your subconscious and your conscious mind so that you can actually verbalize what it is that you want to do is that you have to tap into that subconscious, and the way to do that is through the emotions. Visualization is a great technique for this, an absolutely fantastic technique for this. But when you visualize, you want to get into the feeling of it. Anytime that you start to get into the feeling, you start to really take it deeper into touching that subconscious level. And that's going to be so key to being able to break through some of those blocks that are standing in your way. And use a vision board. A vision board is so helpful because we're visual creatures oftentimes. So we start to think in imagery. So when you pull those visions together and put them on your vision board, look at those things on a regular basis. Meaning you're going to want to look at those as the last thing that you do before you go to bed at night so that you can start getting that deeper into your subconscious mind. And you're going to want to look at it again when you get up in the morning. The final thing that you can do that will absolutely help you unlock this is to grab a journal, and we'll make it your gratitude journal. Start writing down everything that you're thankful for. Even it seems like a minuscule thing, but the more that you start to write down the things that you're grateful for, and listen, it can be as simple as, I am so grateful that I am on the path to discovering exactly what it is that I want to do. I am so grateful that I finally have clarity around this, because you're going to start creating that space for your mind to step into that so that you actually do get rid of those blocks that are standing in your way. So several different techniques that you can do. The other thing you can do is, in an earlier Q&A session, I talked with one of our viewers, I believe it was Lydia, who was struggling with determining what exactly she wanted to do, and I called that Valley of Indecision. I will link that in the notes down below as well. You may want to go back and take a look at that and go through some of those exercises, but I can promise you, you will absolutely get through this. You will find the clarity that you need. I did it, and I know that it's possible for you as well. You just have to get in touch with the subconscious and bring that out so that you can actually look at it and start to verbalize it. And the way you do that is through all those techniques that I just shared with you. All right? So, Shari, please drop me a line and let me know how you're doing with this. And if you have any thoughts or if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in this video, and I will talk with you again soon. If you have a question for me, you can reach me at support@kimkellythompson.com. Thanks so much.